The content displayed on Aniki Rabuhlale My Story and its associated social media pages is solely for motivational, informational, and entertainment purposes. In no way should the content therein be viewed or taken as business or financial advice unless done so at the viewer's discretion. The views expressed in the show are those of the interviewees, and Aniki Rabuhlale My Story cannot be held accountable for inaccuracies and validity of any information. Today, Kimo Atchardville Ostad to celebrate one of the heroes. Libito la gagwe ke Thabiso Mhlongo. He is a former dancer of Cap City Kings, a civil engineering graduate. And today, as I stand here in front of you all, he owns a whole food company, Epicure Bites. I know you can't wait to see it already like myself, so I'm going to take you with me. Let's go. Okay, this is the man himself, our civil engineer graduate, former Cap City King dancer, and a whole founder, Mr. Epicure Bites. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, and yourself?
I'm good. No, this was amazing.
How? Johnny?
I think it's God. That's the first thing.
Thank you so much. Did you hear that?
It's God, because at first I had fear to start this,
Yeah.
and I had to just come out of faith, Let me
Take a
do
faithful
this.
leap
Yeah, it was all about the
and
faithful
jump
leap.
right into it.
So yeah, as you know, former dancer.
Yeah.
Former dancer, so you can just understand that
We're
whole
gonna dance, guys.
transition.
We're gonna get him to dance. You shouldn't believe everything you're told unless you can see.
Nah, now I'm a kitchen man, So
Oof.
Epicure Bites, this is my new business. The founder and CEO, Thabiso Mhlongo.
Hey now.
Yeah, now we're using Thabiso Mhlongo.
Hey now.
But former known as JT from Cap City Kings,
Mm-hmm.
So it's a privilege actually.
You've done a lot of things. You've worked almost everywhere.
True.
But I love the fact that you focused on the next step and not the entire staircase. But from a point where you started, did you think this day would ever be a reality?
Honestly, I never thought it would come to this point.
Okay.
Because as you look at it, sometimes when you have to do something and you get a voice of fear, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming from a corporate environment, before I started this business. So I had to think, because to do this, becoming a chef, it's from my previous workplace. I was working at Kawaii, doing all wraps
But
and
he used to
everything.
deny when I told him that
So-
he's a good cook. He used to deny, but that's fine.
That's fine. We'll take that.
That's fine.
We'll
It's
look
a topic
into
for
that.
another day. Yeah.
So, at some point I had to look at it and what, I have skills and I have experience in this. So why not do something that I love rather than doing something that's giving me
That
stress?
sacrifice a little, some part in you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's about it, because at the end of the day you have to look into your future and to see what is that you're good at and put it into work, because
And what is it that ignites your inner fire?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Ignite your inner fire. It's in the kitchen. It's in the kitchen,
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. It's passion. It's dedication. It's focus. It's thinking out of the box. Because people at my age, you look into this whole thing of society. Society has deemed us not into focus. To being
I
better.
love that. I do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, it was just thinking out of the box and to be like, you know what, I need to get out of my comfort zone and do what I can. So that's why Epicure Bites was gave birth to Epicure
You know
Bites.
why I
and
love
yeah.
this so much? Because it explains my hashtag anti-Bible campaign even better. It has something about societal impediments and all that, and it's all about Your past doesn't define you.
Absolutely doesn't, because if I look at my past, a whole lot happened, and I'm a father, guys. I'm a father,
Yeah.
So you can look at those transition to being in a space where life is just, you feel like life is coming to an end, and I'm still young. I'm still young. I'm turning 28 this year. So you can just imagine at that time when I had a kid, I was 20.
And you were so scared and frightened. You didn't know how to go about
Exactly.
it.
So I was a dancer. So for me, fatherhood was something else. But hence I said I became the box. To say I need to feed my kid. I don't need to look at my family.
And he deserves a happy father. When you do something that fulfills you, you become happy, because he's been glowing ever since the board on the gate. That doesn't matter.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
There you
So yeah, with that, so that's why I'm saying the transition to do this, it came from the whole motivation, looking at, I need a better life. My kid doesn't need to depend on other people, but me as a father, I need to provide.
We need more of this, guys. But anyway, Thabiso failed matric, and that must have been devastating. How did it feel? And I think from that point, it's all over. Like,
yeah, when I reflect on that, it just puts a thing on my head. But at the end of the day, looking into that, it built me as a person. I didn't think that failure would be my last leap of faith, or it would be my last lap into life.
But they always say there's no success without failure. So there are those things to prepare you along the journey. That keeps you, putting you down in everything.
I think for me, that was failing matric was a wake up call. Failing matric was a wake up call for me, because at the very same year, that's when my kid was on the way. So you can just imagine.
That's interesting.
You can just imagine the pressure, family be like, you need to focus.
Society as well.
Hence, I'm saying society always deems this thing of saying, being a father
at a very
young age is wrong and everything. So they don't understand that even if at that very young age I managed to be the person that I am today.
I'm so proud of how you did not carry the shame from the society,
No.
And you didn't say rip to your future. Simply because of abantu bazothini, what are people gonna say? How do people look at me now? And I'm very proud of that.
I think that was a wake up call as well.
And then JT went to work, right? JT went to work. He worked at Ackermans as a cashier.
As a cashier, I worked at Kauai.
We met at Kauai because I was Jimmy Conversion Active. That's where he was working.
I was a chef, and I worked at Bridge Corporate, which was my previous work. Where I was working, it was a financial institution. So you can just imagine all these companies that I worked to. It was like everything.
Let the dots connect.
Yes, everything connected, because Ackerman's cashier, customer care, Kauai chef, learning how to cook, finance, knowing how to deal with finances and everything. So you connect the dots. So that's why my business today, I think it's thriving. Because of that, because it has all the elements of workplaces that I've been in, and I created it into being about myself and to make this business this.
That's fantastic. When they say God chooses a different path for everyone, I'm glad that you didn't take anything for advantage. You didn't take anything for granted, because whatever you've been through has contributed to where you are now and who you are at the moment. So, but tell me how you do it. This is a civil engineer. You build a house, you build a kitchen, you get into it. What's going on? So are you still gonna, juggle construction there and there, or you can't tell at this point? It's okay, it's acceptable, because at some point you couldn't tell if you'd be sitting down with me here today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's interesting. It's all about choices and decisions at the end of the day.
Okay.
Civil engineering, obviously academia is important for everyone. So that's why I'm saying everyone who's watching this, they need to focus. It's not because that I stopped working and decided to own a business. It's because I was just lazy or anything. I had to go attend school. I had to work, be involved in this whole project and everything. So it's not about just sitting around and just say, you know what, school doesn't, because I can tell you with that whole civil engineering thing, because people always ask me, so what if something comes up in civil and I have to go there? I didn't hesitate. I'd go there because it's something that I studied for. But at the end of the day, my business will still thrive even in if I'm not. Yes, exactly. So it doesn't matter if I'm not around, but there are people like any other business.
The work has
yes,
to
that's
go
why
on.
Epicure as well is to create growth. It's to create youth employment. You know, because I'm not also looking into being my own boss. You know, I
Yes.
need to bring people in so that if someone out there is like, oh, you know, I'm interested in working for Epicure, no, you can come.
And
I
you
give
can
you an
bring the energy
opportunity.
that-
Yes,
yeah.
you know, because I'm energetic. I bring good food and quality to everyone. So you need to have that kind of charisma when you're making food for Epicure.
Guys, can I retire? Can I?
So that's about it, you know. So
Can I retire?
That's about it. So Epicure is not also looking into like being about food, also looking into youth development and
humanity.
expanding. Yes, like humanity is the most important thing, because hence the name Epicure is not just a regular name. So people should just go
Somebody please
Google
pass
Epicure.
me a dictionary.
So they'll
'cause
understand the
I
food
need
that I
it.
put on the table is not such food that you'll find anywhere. It goes with passion and
Dijo tsa
quality.
ka mo a di nice ne. Re rata motho a re dijo tsa ka mo di nice because you can hear the name Epicure.
Epicure.
So the impeccable. Yeah. I'm within, package inside.
Yes.
I've seen you grow. I've watched you grow from transitioning from one point to another, different angles and stuff, and I'm in front of the world telling them how proud I am to have somebody like you in my life. You don't have to be in my contact list to be in my life. Just clarifying the air that when you see some people, you are able to draw in some air, through my lungs.
Standing
I'm like,
views.
Thabiso did it, and he won. I can also, in whatever that I love, in whatever my passion, in whatever my journey that I'm coming across, looking at you do all of that, I can say, whew, I can do it too. Ne? So, on my story, we are all about stories. Thabiso's story is amazing and fantastic. I'm just blessed to have witnessed it and still witnessing it. Because Labana today, guy, give us a few, darling. We went to the youth employment, also empowerment, improvement. We learn as we go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We are teachable this side. Don't judge us and don't look as lejahile. So, what would you say to somebody? I don't want to box you. So I'm not going to say, what can you say to somebody who wants to be an engineer or who wants to cook? What can you say to somebody out there who's still shying away from their birthright, who's still fearing how people are going to look at them doing things that nobody ever thought they would do? Yeah, English. Yeah. To everyone in
Exactly.
bachelors of education, in carpentry, in plumbing, in media, in sports, in football, in netball. I'm
In
giving you the
everything.
platform.
It's simple.
Okay.
I think it's simple. So the most important part is putting God first.
Number one.
That's number one.
God first.
That's number one.
Number two?
Besides that, you can't go anywhere.
You don't have the power.
You don't.
You don't know tomorrow, and you don't have the power to shift
No.
forces.
No. So most importantly is God. Put God first.
Ka Sepedi ba re botlhale ke mathomo ke go boisa morago.
Eh.
So reda,
Ewe.
remo.
Ewe.
Yeah.
So you put God first, and the second thing is that put yourself first.
It's all about you.
It's all about you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's not about your parent, it's not about your kid, it's not about your friends, it's about you.
Like-
Because when you go to bed,
Why are you preaching my campaign?
it's you.
It's not about your skin color. It's not about your body size. We often worry a lot about how people look at us, what people think about us, but that doesn't concern you in any way, you know? Give people content to talk about. I think if they chose you, you should feel blessed.
You be the right one.
But what's your lomtana?
And
okay, that's number 2, right?
That's number 2. And number 3 is that trust in everything that's gonna happen, whether good or bad. Believe. And this is one of the best quote I'd use. It also says about my life, and this is something that my favorite motivational speaker Les Brown said. He said, don't judge the possibilities for what you can do based upon the circumstances, because the circumstances won't determine who you are. Don't determine what you're able to do based upon your resources. Don't determine what's possible for you based upon where your life is right now. Where your life is right now, that's not you. That's just what it is right now. But the possibilities for you are unlimited if you are in a rebuilding process.
Country shut down.
That's it.
You know?
That's
it. Girl said it. We are done. We are done. Wow. I'm inspired.
Yes.
I'm immensely inspired. I don't even know what to say.
You
but
should know.
Well. Wow. Okay.
So that's giving courage to someone.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they should go there, because I think with me it started with listening to these motivational speakers. I know some people would say they don't build you. You listening to someone who's already up there, but it's about the teaching. It's also they're saying when you read in the Bible, everything, it's about the teaching. It's not about the pastor out there promoting or using that for their own.
But I also
right?
that starts with you.
With
you
you
need to be teachable.
Number
Allow
2.
message to get through you.
That's number 2 from my encourage list.
Oh, clap hands for me. Can't
That's number 2. So
anyway,
that's about it.
I don't know. What do I say after all of this? Because, wow, I need my journal book just to sit down and plan my future, restructure, redirect, refuel. Thank you so much for today.
No, it's a privilege.
Rona, go my story. We are looking forward to witnessing abundance from Epicure Bites and all your future endeavors, be it engineering. If you want to go back to dancing, we'll be there to support you. If you want to go do anything, it's
but
up to
everything
you.
is possible.
You know?
I know.
All I'm saying is that we support every single thing. And it's a blessing to have people like you as part of the youth of South Africa. It's adding hope as to the future is bright, you know? We are getting somewhere as the people, as the youth. So what would you say about monetizing from your God's given gift and exercising all that God has given you? Because we've come to an era where we don't wait for somebody to drag us out of the household, give us jobs. You know, the future has changed. Success is not only about being a specific person. You can be anything you want. You know, you can clean sneakers, you can print T-shirts, you can do caps, you can do whatsoever. Which still scares a lot of people. Taking a faithful leap and doing something that people never thought would turn out to be big one day. What would you say about that? What would you tell somebody who's just about to start to sketch, you know, house plans, portraits, print T-shirts, paint sneakers, all of that?
It's good to start over.
Just start, right?
Just start.
I love the fact that Africa is creative. But they said, not ignorant, was it? It's the cradle for humankind. They said it, we didn't understand. But I love our creativity. And I believe all of us together, we can integrate into a tenacious, phenomenal generation. But I think we are not doing it more for us, but the little ones.
For the little ones as well.
Yeah.
For the generation that's coming after us.
Yeah, they need to see us taking faithful leaps so that they can normalize it, accepting themselves for who they are, you know, doing whatever it is that ignites their souls, whatsoever, without fearing of societal judgment, without anything.
Because I think society will always judge, But hence I said the importance of starting over. Just go with faith.
He's saying he'd rather be at peace with himself and at war with the world. Me too. Thank you. Our day with Thabiso Mhlongo, and we're standing here, the both of us, hoping that our story will inspire you to realize and embrace that of your own. And remember, it might specifically take yours for somebody to inhale. Thank you so much.